Hello there, and a very good evening to you. It's Monday night, gang. Monday, the 12th of April, 2021. Good evening, and welcome to the Monday night chat show, coming to you from Bracknell in Royal Berkshire. A second outing for the new beautiful jacket as sent to me by the lovely Clarissa. And I thought it was a good excuse to bring out the new winter opening, boys and girls, there, as we've had snow this morning. Yeah, and there was actually it was quite a lot. It settled and covered. If you said not just a light settling, it was actually come down like, you know, when you get the large flakes come down. So we had a decent bit of that this morning. And I came up here and literally just a couple of minutes, I thought there's an excuse to play the winter opener. So there it is for you. A little bit of snow, and there's one at the end as well, okay? Our winter clothes as well. We'll play that tonight. Good evening, gang. How's it been for you? With the snow, did you have any snow at all today? There's a text message if you're watching in a chat box and you're trying to send me messages in a chat box. I don't see them. You've got to send us a text, I'm afraid, gang. There's the text number up there, top left-hand corner, 07451 287 337, 07451 287 337, or indeed send us an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and I'll read it out for you, gang. All right. A little bit of a fouled litter pick this morning, I'm afraid. I couldn't get out of the house. Do you know what I mean? I do it all the time. I'm in and out. Oh, lock the door. Oh, forgotten that. Open the door. Lock the door. Forgotten that. Open the door. Lock the door. Forgotten that. Oh. So eventually I managed to get out of the house. It must have been gone 10:30 by the time I left here this morning. Usually I'm out 10:10, 10:15, fairly quickly, out with my bag and all that. And I thought I'd go over the forest this morning. But before I went over the forest, I thought I'd go along the road a little. There is a fast road. Fast. Very fast. So I had my orange jacket on, and you're not bang next to the road, but nevertheless you are next to the road. If a car was to come off, it would be bye-bye, Chris. Not that anyone would miss me. No one would miss me. Well, no one would miss me. Only the children when it's Christmas time. That's it. So I did a little bit along there, and I'm chatting away to my mate on the phone, and I suddenly remembered I hadn't taken my pill. And I thought, oh, God, you know, and we're now 40 minutes late. Now, to most people, it doesn't bother them, you know, as long as they take it within half a day. But it bothers me. 10 o'clock pill time is 10. It's not 10:30. It's not 11:15. It's certainly not 12 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. So it's now 20. I thought, do you know, I'm going to have to go back, I said to him. He said, you forgot your pill? And he knew straight away. I said, yes. Oh, God, blimey. So I came back. And then by the time I was back, I thought, oh, you know, I had a few bits and pieces. Mainly, it has to be said, left by the blooming bin men. You know, they do, what did they do yesterday? Recycling. And as I came back down my road, there were plastic bottles and cans on the floor. Not hundreds of them, you know, about 5 altogether. But nevertheless, 5 bottles that shouldn't be down there in the first blooming place. So I picked those up, and at least I'd done something. And I got back into the house. I thought, well, I'll go out again in a minute. And then I spotted the big amount of ironing that had been building up over the last few weeks. Well, 6-7 weeks, I suppose. Do you remember last time I did ironing? I told you I did all my ironing one day. Well, since then. Was it January? Something like that. And the cupboard is looking a bit sparse. So I thought, do you know what? Just do the ironing. And then that's done before I can perhaps go on a little bit of a journey tomorrow. So I did me ironing. He came round for some chips. So I put those in the new oven. We got another new oven, by the way. That's 3 this month. How many other people can say that they've had 3 brand new ovens in a month? I bet you can't, can you? Huh? So I done that, and I put the chips in the oven. And then I popped down the co-op to get some bread rolls. Came back here, and he came over. And, yeah, it was all right this afternoon. We watched a bit of telly. What were we watching? Paranoid at the moment. Paranoid on Netflix, which we're enjoying at the moment. And we had these chips. And then he started... You should see us. Because I don't have the heating on much. You know that, don't you? I don't have the heating on. So I've got a blanket in the living room. And he's in the chair there. And I'm on the settee, right? And he's got all the blanket. So I pulled it a little bit, and then he grabbed it. We're like 2 children sometimes. We are absolutely like to, and he's pulling it out. And I said, give me some of the blanket. I haven't got any. Give me the blanket. And then he attacked me. You know what? Some of you got probably got, a lot of you got like a brother and a sister, or two brothers or two sisters, and they fight. Yeah, it's just like that. Anyway, I managed to yank it. I managed to actually pull the chair over, at which point he surrendered. I'm pleased to say. Pleased to say. And then later on when he left the house, this is my mate, Ronnie. And then when he left the house, I was putting some stuff in the bin, and he found it very funny. He had 2 cans of Coke, and he found it funny. I picked that up and threw these 2 cans of Coke on the path outside, the empty cans. I said, you must be joking. At which point he picked one of them up and then threw it in the bushes. So I had to attack him again. I attacked him physically. Physically attacked him. And then that finished. And then he'd realised he'd lost one of his hearing aids. I mean, I don't know what the neighbours think. These 2 old blokes fighting outside his house. He couldn't find his hearing aid. Hello? Pardon? And he was so lucky, and that's the second time I found it, and it was right next to the bin. If any amount of time had passed, or it would be night time, there's no way he would have found that hearing aid. Little brown thing in there. I don't like to touch it. Oh, no, I've washed my hands after that. Not if someone's earwax all over my hands, dear. Vile. Oh, so that was my morning, really. I put a few more bits and pieces in the car ready for the journey tomorrow. So a fouled litter pick today, just a few little bits and pieces. As I say, I have a new oven now, boys and girls. We've not got a Hoover one. Those of you watching the saga of the ovens will know I've recently had 2 new Hoover ovens, Hoover, and these are a bit special because they got Wi-Fi on them. And it seems that Hoover is the only manufacturer at the moment putting Wi-Fi on ovens as standard. If you go to other manufacturers, such as Bosch or AEG is another, very good make. But you're looking at hundreds of pounds. Hundreds. In some cases, over £1,000. £1,300 for a metal box with a couple of elements in it. Oh, but it's got 93 programs. All I want to do is turn it on and set the type of oven, fan oven, or normal oven, or grill. That's all you need. I don't need 71 bleeding programs on it. Be quite nice to have Wi-Fi on it. Well, with the Wi-Fi, no chance. No chance. Cheapest one, I paid £242 for my Hoover one, right? The next one up from that was Bosch, £629. It's nearly £1,000 for an oven. No. I mean, the last one I had, and you don't have to pay a lot of money. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get a long-lasting product. The last one I had for 15 years. Okay? Anyway, so the first Hoover one came in, and the timer kept resetting itself. So we sent that back, and a new one arrived, and it all appeared to be well. And then last week it started playing up again. A lot of the time I'd go on my phone, I'd be right, turn my oven on now, it was all set up, oven offline. And you'd get back to the house. Of course, you weren't able to turn it on remotely. It'd say, oven offline. I'd get into the house, and guess what was flashing at the front? The timer. Once the timer's gone off, the power's gone off to the timer, right? You can't do anything with the oven until you set the timer again. And there's no power going off in here. I'd know if there was power going off in here without the bleeding gadgets I've got. Everything would be flashing away like that. So we gave up on that one. Once again, AO.com. Fantastic customer service. Offered to send an engineer round. No, thank you. I'll have a new oven, please. You must do that. Once you've accepted a repair, you can't send the item back. So when you've got something new and it goes wrong, never ever accept a repair. Do you know what? I believe the same is true for cars, believe it or not. I believe the same is true for... They would make it difficult, but I'm sure the same is true for cars. If you've got a car that's giving you problems, and again, once you've had it repaired, that's it. You can't send it back. Okay? So you have to insist, no, I'm sorry, I'm not willing to do that. I'd like a new item, please. And then they send you a new item. And this time I went for a hot point oven. no Wi-Fi on it, unfortunately. It's got a timer on it. And it's wonderful, really. It gets up to temperature in about 6 or 7 minutes. Very quick, I have to say. About 10 minutes. Say 10 minutes. Gets up to temperature, 200 degrees in 10 minutes. And does the food lovely. It's got a timer, and I managed to use that yesterday. Bit of an arse away way of doing it, really. First of all, you have to set the time that you want to cook, say 30 minutes. And then you have to set the time that you want it to finish. Which sounds a bit of an odd way of doing things, really, you know? I would have thought you'd set the time to start, I don't know, 10 o'clock. Okay? 10 o'clock for 45 minutes. That kind of makes sense to me. But no, you have to set 30 minutes cooking time and then the time it finishes. You don't set the time it starts. It works that out itself. Anyway, I've done a few meals in there so far and all well and good. Now, there isn't, I'm afraid, a unboxing video. I know you're going to be so disappointed at that. There's no unboxing video. And the reason there's no unboxing video, gang, is because I come across a little problem. Not with the oven. The last oven I had, the plug was not on it. So it was a simple case. There's a little hole. There's a little hole in where you push the oven in. And they're actually very, very easy to install ovens. Don't be paying someone 90 quid to install a blooming oven for you. It's shocking. I always remember Curry's in one of the flats that I let out. Curry's wanted £75 to attach an electric cooker. And basically it's 3 wires. It's 3 wires. It's just like a larger version of putting a plug on when you install like a cooker hob. These 3 wires out of the thing and into the mains. Although I'm not, at the time I'm not sure that you're allowed to do that anymore. You were 17 years ago. I'm not sure you're allowed to do that anymore. But an oven, it's simple. It literally plugs into a socket. So underneath my counter, I've got a socket, right? And there's a hole where the wire goes through. So the Hoover ovens, they didn't have a plug on. So I just poked the wire through. This one's got a plug on. Not a plug screwed on. It's moulded onto the wire, right? So you can, of course, cut it off and feed the wire through. You'd have to use another plug then. But once you've done that, if there's anything wrong with the oven and you need to send it back, they could get it back at the other end. Hang on a minute, you've cut the plug off. Oh, well, you've damaged it. Yes, they could do that. You may be sitting there, oh, they wouldn't do that. It would be within their right to do that. You've done something to it. It may not be nothing to do with the heating or the fan or anything like that. You've damaged the product by cutting that plug off, right? And then you can't send it back. So this little hole was not big enough. It was at that point my heart sank. Because this involves DIY. I'm going to have to make the hole bigger. Now, blokes, proper men, and probably many of the ladies would look at the thing and say, okay, I need this, this and this. And if they haven't got it, they'd go out and buy it and do the job. I don't work like that. I look in my toolbox and see what have I got that might be able to do it. So I went out and got my screwdriver, my drill. I got my drill. And I was very surprised to see a jigsaw in there. I don't remember having a jigsaw, but there's one in there, so I must have bought it at some point. Okay, let's get it out. Let's see how that goes. And I've drilled these holes. And the drill's not going through one of them. Why isn't it going through? I kept pushing it. Wouldn't go through. They were proper wood drills. I knew that, you see. I knew that there are wood drills and there are wall drills with that hard bit on the end. These were wood drills because they had the little bit like spike there. Okay, wood drill. This first one's not going through, so I've gone down a little. It's gone through a bit, but won't come out the other side. I thought that's a bit odd. So I've moved it down and then it's gone through. Right, so I drilled holes. 1, 2, I ended up with about 7 holes. Only need 4. So I've drilled my holes like that. And then I've got my jigsaw. And it's variable speed. So A bit like that it is. Okay? Like that it is. Bit like working a Scalextrics thing. You know, the harder you squeeze, the faster it goes. A bit like people, really, isn't it? So I've put that in a little hole and I pushed it carefully and it came out at me like that. I thought, oh, you're not pushing it hard enough. So I held it in and then I did, and it was sawing and it wouldn't go any further. I thought, why won't that go any further? And then I looked on the other side of that bit of wood. Of course, that's where the metal socket is, isn't it? I mean, the metal socket was in the way of the saw. How inconvenient is that? So I've had to drill another hole and I've gone down a little bit further that way. And I'm sawing. And it's going, and it got there. But it didn't get to the other hole. Because, I don't know, that the blade's here and it's got a bit in front of it. And that bit there started it in the end. And I couldn't go any further. I thought, oh, God. So then I tried to twist. I tried to twist it round like that while it was on, and I thought that blade's going to break in a minute. Anyway, I did it in the end. We managed to do it in the end, and I did manage to get the plug through the hole. I'm now going to show you, if you haven't seen it already, my very professional hole that I made myself. No help. No adults were involved in this. Only me and my jigsaw and my drill. There it is. Isn't that fantastic? Who else has got a hole like that in their kitchen? Can you see that bit at the top there where those two holes are? Yeah, that's where it wouldn't go through because there's a metal electrical socket on the other side. I do hope that wasn't damaged. I don't think that's too bad, do you? What do you reckon? So there we are. Done. Happy days. Chris Reardon's hole. And I plugged in my oven, took off the plastic bits, and immediately the little clock started flashing. I referred to my instructions, set the clock, happy days, done. Then I turned it on to maximum, because you have to leave it maximum for an hour, and all this stuff in there burns off, and it makes like a smell, which I have to say isn't unpleasant, but you don't want it in your food, so you have to turn it on full power for 1 hour and just leave it. And it's always good anyway, because then you can sort of, you know, hang around the oven and know that everything's okay. Do you know what I mean? In case something had gone wrong. For example, drilling through an electrical socket. Anyway, that's my new oven. And I'm very pleased. So if you want any help at all with installing anything, shelving, perhaps you want your ceiling skimmed, you know, because, oh, my mate was moaning about my ceiling today. Now, can you see my ceiling? Yes, no, you can't really, can you? But anyway, my ceiling is like bumpy. You know, it's like bumpy. And he says, why don't you get your ceiling done? And I'm like, well, what's wrong with my ceiling? Because he's just had his kitchen done. And he had to have the ceiling done because it had little bumpies in it. It has to be flat. So he paid someone to have the ceiling done. Just money wasted, isn't it? Don't you think? Why has it got to be flat? Nothing wrong with that ceiling. Has it fallen down? No. Nothing wrong with it then, is there? Anyway, that's my oven timer. Oven installed, I'm very happy to say. Right, let's read some of your texts out there this morning. On the show, George says, are you going to have new fridge magnets this year? Well, you're going to buy them for me to send out and do the postage as well, George. Let me know if you are, then I can send them out to you. Good evening to Mike in Brighton. Good evening to the delightful Mike in Brighton, my good friend, and good luck tomorrow. Tomorrow, Mike is very excited and nervous, of course, because he's starting his new job. He's working in a hotel in Brighton, and I wish you the best of luck with that, because I know how much you and me want to go back to work. We are bored to tears. Luckily, I have stuff to do, you know, like this sort of thing. I'm very lucky. I find myself work to do. I look for something to do, like the litter collecting. You know, I do look for stuff to do. All right, Mike says, hope you're keeping well. I forgot to ask, how is your throat? Up and down. Up and down. This morning, it was round this side. I'm serious. It was round this side this morning. I can't work it out. Can't work it out. I mean, it's copable all the time. It's either there or there. If it was right across, that would be a different thing. But with my throat, if you don't know already, it's not really a lump there. Is it up at all? That's up a little bit there. That's up a bit there. But it kind of moves round to here sometimes, and sometimes in the middle. So I've no idea what it is. No idea. They're doing a scan tomorrow. I don't know what's... I very much doubt they're going to find something there. I think I'm not sure they know what it is. That being said, I don't like to bother the doctor. I'm one of those. And you know how busy they are at the moment. They're so busy all the time. But I've got a scan tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see how that goes. It's at its best first thing in the morning. Okay, when I get up, that's when it's at its best. It's at its worst last thing at night. Very, very odd. Mike says, have a good show. This might be the last one I can watch live, but I'll catch up when I need some entertainment. Yeah, that's entertainment. Da, 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 da. Thank you very much, darling. Good evening to the beautiful Marc Bowles, who says, good evening to the little glint in my eye. Oh. Do I put a little glint in your eye? Do you know, I'd love you to put something in my eye. I really would, my darling. Hello to me, Mark. Hello, Mark, and hello to your delightful wife, Tina. Good evening, Tina. Dump him, darling. He's two-timing you, my love. Dump him now. Send him over here, my love. Good evening to John Child. Hello, John. Evening, Chris. You are looking good on my new ultra-high-definition television. You are the first programme I'm watching. Isn't that fabulous? He's got an UHD. I always thought that was some sort of contraceptive, a UHD, isn't it? Is that something that they put the thing up and... like a thing. Is it? A UHD? What a strange thing to be looking at on your telly. Contraceptive products on your telly. Very strange man you are, John Child. I'm glad we're coming across. As you can see, high definition here, darling. High definition here, my love. We don't do standard definition. That's for the other people on the YouTube, dear. Yeah, you're like that. All blurry pictures. Look how crisp and sharp this is. Eh? Crisp and sharp. We are coming at you at 30 frames per second and 4,655 kbs. Don't mean anything to you, does it? I didn't think it did. Good evening to the lovely Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. Hello to Fran Green today. Hello to Mr. Gary Ross. No snow over in Belfast today. Well, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. You blew it all up with all these riots, didn't you, dear? How can... Gary's in charge of the riots in Belfast, aren't you, my love? He's very, very busy at the moment. What is going on in this world, eh? Blooming riots all up. Not just Belfast. Bristol, London. Terrible. Dreadful. Dreadful. Hello to Diane Jeb. Good evening, Diane. Hello to Shania Steele. Good evening, Shania. Head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. Evening, Shania. Hello to Sherry, who says, good evening, Chris. You're hilarious. Chris Reardon's hole indeed. Did you want to have a look at my hole? Here you go. The good thing about it is it's in a cupboard at the back, so you don't know about it until I tell you. If I ever sold this house, they wouldn't know about it till they moved in. Oh, by the way, this is a hole in the cupboard for the wire. Why can't I do these things? We got a bit of a soggy bit apparently in the caravan still. At the moment, my nephew was saying, but he's temporarily stuck a piece of metal over it just so you don't fall in. And he was round there the other day, a week and a half ago, putting the water back on for me. And he said it hasn't gotten any worse, so we'll have to see about that. Good evening to Jeff Burley. Good evening, Jeff. Hello, Jeff, who says, hope you're well. The coat looks well. It's the coat of many colours, isn't it? Coat of many colours. We won't get to Chapel Hill this week due to Linda's dental appointment. Oh, I've got one of those in May. 2 months ago I booked that. May! God. We won't get to Chapel Hill this week. Oh, how disappointing. Due to Linda's dental appointments and my hospital appointments. Have a growth on my adrenal gland. Comes with age. I don't know what that is. What does that do, the adrenal gland? I'm not sure. If you use a short extension, you could have taken the plug off, passed the flex through the hole, refitted the plug. No big untidy holes. Yeah, but you couldn't take the plug. That's exactly what I would have done, Jeff, taken the plug off. But I thought about it. I literally had my cutters ready. And I thought, if you take this plug off, and then you try and send it back, they're going to say, hang on a minute, you took the plug off. This is what happens, Jeff. They wriggle, these insurance companies. All right, it wasn't an insurance company. But, it's like, for example, if you go on holiday and you fall ill, right, and then you go to claim, they will go through your medical records. Oh, hang on a minute, you had a sore throat for 2 days that you asked the doctor about. Yes, well, you didn't tell us about that. Oh, well, I didn't think that. Well, you should have told us. It says on the form, you've got to tell us everything, therefore we're not paying you. And I got the feeling it might be something like that. So that was the reason I didn't cut the plug off there, all right? Good evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to Tony King. Stevie Wonder, driving past at 90 mile an hour, would say, that hole is a bit rough. Oh, God, isn't it awful? Hello to Amelia Phillips. She's had her first day at college today. Thanks so much. Good evening to Jay, John Parrish. Email sent to Oven, organ music and stuff. Let's have a quick look at that. What's he sent there? Music sheet book. What's this music sheet book? Nothing attached to that email, John. And nothing attached to the other one. You've sent me 2 blank emails. Hang on, let's see the other one. Right, the other one I've got. There's a picture of the organ. Yeah, that's exactly what the one I thought you'd have. Very similar. So that's a Yamaha. That's very, very nice, John. And you've got that for nothing? You lucky so-and-so. Wow. Wow. That is very, very lucky. You've got a beautiful instrument like that. How wonderful is that? Well done. Well done. Brilliant. Brilliant. Good evening to Daniel Woodhouse, who's sending us a little email in there. Lee Toby, good evening, Lee, who likes the smooth haircut. Yeah, I just did that this afternoon after my mate came. He won't cut my hair. I said to him, Jim, can you cut the back of my... I'm not touching your head. The head, the back's difficult. Do you know what I do? I have an iPhone on in front, behind me, okay? And I do a Facebook Live only to myself, so no one else can see it. One of the options is only me, so I do that. I have that on a stand behind me, on a tripod behind me, right? And in front of me, I have my mini iPad. And I watch the back of my hair like that. The only thing is there's a delay. So you do that, and then you have to wait 5 seconds to see if you've got it or not. So what I tend to do is I do it all like that. And then after that, then I start turning my head around like that to see if it's done all right. The front's much easier, the front. But I've been cutting my own hair now for over a year. Over a year. I don't like doing it. Not really. Good evening to Pete Rimington. Good evening to you. Hello to Maureen. Evening, Maureen. There'll be an envelope going off to you tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow morning, Maureen. So look out for that. Wednesday or Thursday, all right? Should be arriving a little envelope coming to you, Maureen. Evening to Ollie K. Hello. We need a new freezer, and we looked on AO.com, and they had nothing. Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Oh, sorry to hear that. Try Argos. John Lewis, fantastic John Lewis. Don't know if you've got one of those near you. John Lewis. Good evening to Christina Ewing. She's in Germany at the moment. Sun and snow lockdown in Germany. Hope you're keeping well. Thank you, Christina. And Andy is there. Good evening, Andy. Looking forward to this evening's instalment. When are you going to the caravan? I like the shows from there too. Hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow after I've been to the doctors. I've got to, I say the doctors, to the hospital. I'm going up to the hospital, and that's 3:15 in the afternoon. Then I'll come back here and have a little sleep, because I won't have had my sleep. And then hopefully be travelling up tomorrow evening. And I did check the government website and all that business. Yes, you are now allowed to stay away from your own home, as long as you're either with your family or on your own. So I'm on my own, so that's fine. There's no one else in the caravan, only me. So hopefully that will happen tomorrow. The only thing I can think that might not work is if I'm stuck at the hospital for a little bit too long. These scans don't take long. But if they push back the time and I'm still there and then I don't get back here before 6, it might get a little bit, you know, I might leave it till the next morning. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. All right. If you're new to the show, welcome along, gang. If you're in the chat box and sending me a message, I don't see those, I'm afraid. You need please to send me a text, 07451 287 337, or you can send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or shortly we'll be opening a phone line as well. Okay, so first up today, Marc in Brighton, what's he saying here? Not sure you're thinking out of the box. Here's a possible solution to your Wi-Fi problemo. Smart plug. No good. No good. I have smart plugs all around the house, Mike. It's an oven. When the power goes off, the clock resets to 0, and then you can't do anything until the clock is set, unless this one's different from the last one. Do you see what I mean? Once the power goes off, when the power comes on again, certainly with the Hoover one, I haven't tried it with this one actually, that's worth a try. But yes, you're absolutely right. One of those Wi-Fi plugs, they're fantastic. I've got them everywhere. I've got one on the kettle downstairs. I've got one on my bedroom light in here. I've got one at the bedroom light in the caravan, the kettle in the caravan, the microphone in the caravan, microwave at the caravan, and the microwave here. And it's great. You just turn everything on and you can turn them on when you're on your way back and you get back and there's no waiting for your dinner. It's like having your mum again, but without the decent cooking that she used to do. Oh, do you miss my mum's cooking? And my mum, of course. Thank you. Evening to Weird City Citizen, who likes the new jacket. Thank you very much. And good evening to Chris Williams, who's just joined us there. Hello to you, Chris. All right. Okay, what have we got on our little menu today? First of all, what's your worst Windows update ever? Your worst Windows updates. Now, over time, computers, let's be honest, are a lot better than they were when they first came around, didn't they? Remember Windows 7? Or should we go back? They had like 5.2 and stuff like that, didn't they? Do you remember? Windows 7, things were coming up. Once we got to Windows XP, things got so much better. Very, very rarely now do we have the blue screen of death. Do you remember getting that? Let me tell you, there was times, I don't know, 15, how long have we had computers? I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? I don't know how long we've had computers now. But I remember being in this room at 4 o'clock. No, it's longer than that. It's longer than that because I remember my mum was here once. And it's got to be at least 22 years ago. I remember being in this room, tearing my hair out, all in floods of tears, to various people on the phones because something had gone wrong with the computer and I couldn't do it. I didn't know what to do. The blue screen of death. Oh, God, don't we remember that one? Anyway, eventually you do get it going But it wasn't easy. And then we got to Windows XP and it kind of almost stopped completely, that blue screen, didn't it? Things started working so much better. Now, I'm not asking you to come on and start doing my head in with loads of bits of information on why it's better now or whatever. We're not talking about that tonight, okay? But once we got to XP, it became a lot better and has got progressively better since. All my machines now are Windows 10. Okay, I'm all Windows 10. This one here recently got a solid state hard drive in it now. This is incredibly fast now. Not that it wasn't fast before. The new laptop, I say the new laptop, the second-hand laptop someone's going to sell me, that's got a solid state thing in and all that. But those Windows updates continue to be a problem, don't they? What's your worst Windows update? The most recent one, we've recently had 3 updates in the last 2 or 3 weeks. The first one completely knocked out my little Dymo label printer. You know, when you were winning prizes and things like that, you used to get an envelope through the door. There'd be a little label like that with your name and address with it, wouldn't it? Eh? That was all printed out on a little Dymo label. And there was a bingo night a few weeks ago. finish the night, and then usually I like to stay in here and sort out the prizes there and then. I don't like to leave anything, I like to get the thing finished, if you see what I mean. I don't like things to carry on. And was a blank label come out. I thought, oh, what's gone wrong with this? And I quickly remembered that we'd just done a Windows update. Anyway, I left it a few days. I'll restart the computer. Sometimes that fixes it. No, that didn't fix it at all. Left it a few days. Nope, still didn't work. And then I went on the Dymo site and it said, we're getting reports since the last window update. Here we go. Of blank screens. We're working on that. And then there was another Windows update which followed just a couple of days afterward. Here we go. Nope, that didn't fix it either. All right, maybe there'll be another one. And then sure enough, a couple of weeks went past and there was another Windows update and suddenly the label printer started working again, all on its own. And this is often the case, sometimes you just leave something and it does start working on its own. That was only a minor thing. The software that I'm using to broadcast to you has various settings. And when I update that computer, there's two computers that I use here to do my shows, okay? The one that I'm talking to you on, the camera goes into the broadcast computer, okay? It's got various settings for sound, this, that and the other. And sometimes you do an update on there and suddenly you start chatting away. It's actually happened before while I'm doing a show, before I would test everything first, right? Literally, before I do a show, I'm done. 1, 2, 1, 2, and I'm looking at this little thing in front of me there going up and down like that, which tells me it's hearing me. But it was a case of sometimes I'd get ready for the show and we'd start the show and it'd be a bit. All right, so you heard silence there. Don't start sending into, we can't hear you. The settings had changed. And it had changed where the microphone's coming from and there's nothing plugged in to where it's looking for. Again, probably a little bit of a minor thing, But my two worst nightmares were both at work. Once was at Bluches in London Bridge, where they had football on. We literally had to share the night some nights with football. We're supposed to start the karaoke at 10 o'clock. Fantastic place to work. Bluches in London Bridge. We'd have to start the karaoke at 10. But if there was football on, we'd have to wait till the football because the pub would be full of blokes. And I know, lads, you don't interrupt lads' football matches on the telly. Having the picture on and no commentary is not good enough. They have to have the commentary on as well. I get that. So you don't interfere with that. Anyway, so I'm there. How long's the match going on for? Oh, they're already in, they're about to go into overtime. So I think, I'm not a football person. Is that now, that's another half an hour, isn't it? 15 minutes each way or something like that. Okay. So I thought, well, half an hour. And I'd fired up my computer and it's asking me to do an update. Shall I leave it? Oh, well, if I've got half an hour, I'll do the update. Oh, wow. And it went on and on. I thought, oh no. And at this point, I didn't really have a backup with me at this point. This is some years ago. Didn't have a backup laptop. And the half an hour went. And I'm still not up and running. And this thing's saying 23%. And the little thing's going around. And of course, once you've started, you can't stop it. Never, ever turn a computer off when it's doing an update. Not even because you're going to be late. You can't do it because it can kill the computer. Seriously, you're forced to turn it off, hold the button down and wait till it goes off. That's it. You've got a brick. You've now got a brick. So this half an hour passed. I thought, this still isn't working. I said, how comes the football still on? I'm talking to someone while I'm waiting for this. Oh, they've got more time. Still, they didn't have a result. And anyway, this went on for some time. And literally, the football finished. I can't remember how long it was. And suddenly, the computer burst into life. I'd already gone round this thing, and it wouldn't work. And I had to restart it. And on the third restart, it suddenly burst into life. It came back at one point with like a fresh Windows screen. where's all my icons? Where's everything I've put on it? It all disappeared. But I restarted it about 3 times and it suddenly burst into life and off we went. Thank God for that. But that's not the worst one. Not the worst one. If you've got any Windows update that gave you a bit of a problem, why don't you call in and tell me about it? Lines are open now. Okay, we're talking about Windows updates. 020-8144-3477 is my phone number. Have you had a bad Windows update? Whether it's just destroyed everything or stopped you doing your thing? You must have had. I can't believe there's anyone watching this who's never had some sort of problem with a Windows update. If you've had several bad ones, what was your worst one? The worst one was when I was doing karaoke at the Golden Lion. Now, for some reason, I think we'd gone to Windows 10 at this point. I can't remember how long we've had Windows 10 now. But anyway, it said it wanted to do a Windows update, and I failed to see this will start in 30 seconds or whatever it said. I failed to see that. And of course, by the time I got there, it had just gone to 0 and started. I thought, oh God. Well, let's hope it won't be a long one. Now, this Shania was there on the night. It was an absolute disaster this night. Lovely people who used to watch this radio show, and some people who are still with us now, such as Shania and Vectis, they turned up at the pub. It was our 14th, was it? I think it was our 14th anniversary of the show, and they'd all turned up at the pub. They turned up the year before. And everyone's waiting to sing. The customers. We had the lovely little crowd that had bought a cake and things like that. And there was me struggling with this computer trying to get something going. And we were supposed to start at 9 o'clock. And I always get there early in case there's anything wrong that I can fix. And it had got to, I think it was about 10:30 before we were able to start. And then at 10:30, my lovely people who were watching the show, they then wanted to give me the cake. But all I could see in front of me were people waiting to sing. And I had to, do you see what I mean? I had to give them priority over anything happening for me. They'd already been waiting an hour and a half. And eventually it just started working and it was fine. But it was a real disaster that night. And that's got to be the worst one ever. The hour and a half. I think actually, if I remember rightly, in the end, I did get my backup computer out of the car. My other laptop out of the car, the old laptop. And plug that in. I think that's what we used in the end because the other thing just didn't finish on time. What about you? Have you got any Windows disasters? 02081443477, or you can text in your answer if you want to. John's reset some pictures. You could have connected it without cutting the plug off. I see all the music that you've sent. Oh, you got loads of music there, John. I don't read music really, so I haven't got any. Then he sends a picture in. Where's this? Is that your house? Oh, what a lovely view you got, John. How much was that? That was less than 100 grand. Didn't you tell me it was less than 100 grand, that? What a lovely thing there. Look at that. And some more music books there. Yeah, I'm not really into music books, but I'm sure that'll keep Sherry happy, won't it? Thank you, John. John says, I've got a brand new laptop, Lenovo. Turned off doing updating. As I'm very impatient, it's now gathering dust. Yes. Yeah. I'm with you there. Because the third time was actually at Central Station. Now, again there, I get there an hour before start in case anything goes wrong, and something did go wrong. So this computer's trying to do this update, and I'm waiting, and if it was an 8 o'clock start, it's now like 10 to 8. I thought, well, I can't wait any longer. I'll risk it and turn it off. That was it. Turned it off. That was it. Wouldn't come on after that at all. Just wouldn't come on. Went to the car, got the backup laptop out again, and we were going by 8 o'clock because I get there early, you see. I get there early. But that's the one that killed me. That killed the laptop, killed it. I can't remember what happened to that one. I think I could probably take it in somewhere for repair, you know. But that's the one that killed me when I turned it off. So I know where you are with that, John. Evening, George.
Evening, Chris.
All right. What have you ever had a Windows update like that then?
I don't get a Windows update on my laptop.
Oh, you must have turned something off then.
No, it's a Chromebook.
Oh, what's that then?
Is
that different?
It's just like a laptop. It's a Chromebook.
Oh, okay. Is that just like just to go on the internet, is it?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Internet, Facebook, and when it comes up for an update, it says, do you want to do an update? I'll press yes. And it just resets the laptop, put your password in, and it's done. Oh,
that sounds fairly easy, doesn't it? If you don't do much with computers, like, I don't know, audio and visual and all that, you don't really need it, George. I think you're very sensible having something like that. There's a lot of people, they go out and buy these laptops and computers that are fantastic machines. Fantastic machines. But they've spent hundreds and sometimes thousands of pounds on a machine, and they're not going to use what they've bought the machine, the functions on the machine. I've got various friends that bought beautiful Sony Vios and things like that, and I'm going back here 15 years, and even then the Sony Vios were like over £1,000, right? And I'm like, well, why have you spent all that? There was me DJing off a laptop. I wouldn't spend more than 300 quid on it at the time, 350 maybe, you know. And why have you bought that? Oh, well, it's got all this software on it. Well, when are you going to use that? Well, I don't know, but it might be useful. What a waste of money. Yeah, but there's a lot of people that do that. Like you, if all you want to do is go on the internet, a little bit of video watching and play music off Spotify, then you've got the right one for you.
Yeah. When I used to do live streams on YouTube, I used to use StreamYard.
Oh, right, yes, I've heard of that one, yeah.
Yeah, because you couldn't use OBS on Chromebooks.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes, because you can't use Microsoft. Anything to do with Microsoft don't work on Chromebooks.
Oh, so you can't download programs? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That. That's news to me. Oh, I didn't know that at all. But that StreamYard, that's the one where you can have loads of... Oh, well, I can do it with this one, but the people with StreamYard, they tend to have lots of people on the screen at the same time, don't they? Sort of 4 or 6 or...
It's if you... Because you have to pay for it. If you've got the free one, I think it's up to 5 people. 5
people?
If you pay for it, I think it's up to 60 people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen people doing this. That format is not for me. I don't like it. You just got all these people on the screen and they're all talking over each other, and it's not my sort of... That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not for me. Do you know what I mean? There are people doing that, and they're very good at it. Very good at it. But I watched it and I thought, oh, Christ, how many people have we got on here? And one's chatting, and oh, no, dear. No, not for me, I'm afraid. But, yeah. Well, that's good, George. Well, thank you. You've taught us all something. I'm sure I'm not the only one not to know that. That's very interesting. I did know about Chromebooks, and I had a feeling you couldn't do an awful lot with them. Certainly doing some... I'm sure there would be a way of doing this, like with Streamlabs, just saying there. But I wouldn't be able to do it as I'm doing it, would I?
No.
All right, George. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Cheerio now. There we are, George. He has no problem at all with his updates on the Chromebook. Good evening to Rumble Bumble. Hello to you, sir. Evening, Chris. Just in from a busy day at work in Oxford, feeling dizzy with all the roundabouts in Milton Keynes. Oh, God, blimey! Don't tell me about that, love. Actually, one of the presenters on Reach on Air is in Milton Keynes. I think it's DJ Swish. Actually, he's on straight after me, isn't he? Isn't he in Milton Keynes? How does anyone know when anyone's going? What a nightmare that is. Roundabouts. I mean, there's a few roundabouts around here, actually, but nowhere near as bad as Milton Keynes. We've got another call coming in there. And hello,
Hello?
who's that, please?
Hi, I believe your kid goes to school with my son, David.
No, I don't have a child in school, I'm afraid.
I'll get right to the point.
Yes.
You need to do a better job of keeping your child in line.
Right.
Your kid picks on my son every day at school.
Well, is he ugly then?
Oh, don't play dumb. This is not going to make the situation any better.
I bet is he really ugly? Is that why he's getting bullied?
My son came home with a black eye today.
Well,
He said it was your kid.
Yeah, he probably asked for it. Good, I'm glad he got one.
Someone is paying for this. Nobody lays a finger on my son.
Oh, well, good luck to you, mate. Never mind. Perhaps you'll ask your son not to be so stupid in future, then he won't get a black eye. Thank you very much. Mike in Brighton. We're reading Rumble Bumble at the moment, aren't we? Evening, Chris. Just in from a busy day at work in Oxford. Feeling dizzy with all the roundabouts in Milton Keynes. Absolute nightmare. Turn on my TV and first thing I see is your dodgy hole. Now sitting with a cheese and onion sarnie and a nice brew, watching the best show around. Oh, and I have you on my phone as well. Thank you, Mr. Rumble Bumble. What about you? You had a trouble with the Windows update at all? Let us know if you have. 0208 144 3477. Mike in Brighton says, I've never had a major problem doing an update, apart from the crazy length of time sometimes it takes. I remember, this week, wasn't it, Mike? Or last week? You had an update which took ages, didn't you? Sometimes it takes ages, even with a fast connection and a solid-state hard drive. There have been a few long updates recently, even last night. Oh, is there another one now? Oh, I haven't looked recently. However, when I did my Windows 7 upgrade to Windows 10, there was a problem with the DVD driver. The drawer that comes out wasn't working. I had no drinks holder. Gee, I can't remember the last time I put a CD in that drawer. I've got stacks of CDs here because I used to make CDs for people, free of charge. I'm surprised you haven't actually. No, we were on tapes. Did I ever give you one of my tapes, Mike? Years ago when you were working with me in a Black Cat. Look, I've got all these. I've got like 300 of these. 200 of those. I'm going to give them to my friend Ray Reynolds, because he does music stuff as well. He's never sort of moved on to MP3s. He's like 73, 74 now. You can't expect people to just keep up all the time. There comes a point where you got to just lay back there. So, how did you hold your coffee then? Daniel's on the phone. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Chris.
You all right, mate?
Yes, I just thought I'd save you from any more calls about your non-existent children.
Strange, isn't it? That was a soundboard. You could tell, because you can always tell if it's a soundboard. You just start saying things what aren't answers to the questions. And then they just reply with something else. You think, no, that's not making sense. It's a soundboard. A soundboard, for those of you that don't know, it's like a computer program with it's like a thing with lots of buttons, okay? And on each button is an expression, a piece of audio, like, hello, I'm Chris. Hello, I'm Chris, and I'm an idiot. Hello, Chris, touche. And you push a button and it plays that sound. That's what a soundboard is. Anyway, don't worry, Daniel. Who was my first caller tonight? I can't remember who that was now.
George Bond.
It was George, wasn't it? George, there we are. I'd just like to write down the names of the people who are calling me when I'm doing the summary afterwards. Anyway, what you got for us today, sir?
You was asking about Windows updates.
Yes.
And all I can say to that is...
where do you keep going? 1 minute.
It just happened, and it's just... oh, I can hear myself...
Yeah, that should disappear in a minute.
Right, okay.
Is that all right now?
Every Windows update I've done has just happened and it's just gone through. Having said that, I've actually got a couple of old laptops siding around here. One with a cracked top on it. The top left corner cracked.
Does it work, though?
No, well, it's supposed to, but I think what it is, the actual bit where you'd plug it in, the mains bit where you put the power in, the connection in there has come apart.
Oh, is it?
And it's it's actually that piece, the actual top bit of that corner has come off.
Do you have to jiggle the wire a little bit for it to work, or does it just not work
No, I
at all?
think it needs a soldering iron, actually.
Oh, does
really.
it? Oh, okay.
And that's the laptop actually that does contain all the evidence over my mum's burglary.
Oh, well, you could get the hard drive out of it.
Oh, it still could be.
Pardon?
It could be done.
Oh yes, I expect the hard drive isn't damaged.
Yeah.
If you look at your computer screen now, I've got one here somewhere. Did you say it's a laptop?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I have here the old hard drive to my little laptop. Okay, and I'm showing that to the screen now. It should appear to you within 20 seconds. And you get the hard drive out. 4 screws. They're pretty obvious what they are. That's what mine looks like. Mine is a Toshiba one. Not very big. And then you get yourself a cable. It's not very expensive. Okay? You plug the cable into the hard drive. Like that. And don't touch these little things underneath the circuit board. Don't touch that, okay? Because you might give it an electric shock and it'll fry it. And then you plug that into your USB, into your computer that's working, and you should be able to see what's on that hard drive.
Huh?
It's as easy as that. It's really easy to do. Okay, it's just getting probably the hardest part of that is getting the hard drive out of your laptop, because there's hundreds of blooming screws and you never short. But if you know, if the laptop is knackered anyway, you haven't got to worry about damage or anything. But don't pull it. You know, take it out carefully. I think it's 4 screws. I'm sure it's 4 screws. Get yourself a cable. Take the hard drive. Do not touch this bit at the bottom. All these little bits here. Hold it by the side. Go to a shop. Have you got a plug for that to plug it in? Make it USB. Plug that into that, and then plug the USB into your computer. And it should come up as as like a stick. Do you use memory sticks?
Well, flash drives, you mean?
Yeah, flash drive.
Yeah,
it will come up
yeah.
similar to a flash drive. You'll get a thing open up and you'll see everything that's on there. Obviously, you won't need to use any of the. You'll have an operating system. Don't muck around with any of that. Just try and find your pictures. Do you happen to remember what folder they were in?
No, I would probably remember.
Probably documents. If you use the defaults, probably documents or pictures, something like that. But you should see that there by just clicking away. All right.
And
when was the burglary?
Yes, it did happen.
When was that?
January 2019.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and the circumstances around it are a bit suspicious, let's say, because there was, when I worked at Mecca Rumford,
Yeah.
there was this main stage caller called Gary Day.
Oh, now you've mentioned someone there. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut the call off now. You've just mentioned someone in an ongoing case, so I'm going to have to stop you there, I'm afraid. All right, my darlings. I can get into trouble for that. All right, sorry about that, Daniel. We can't talk about any cases. You've just mentioned a name there. Can't mention names or anything like that. So sorry, Daniel. Give us a call again on another night. All right. I don't want to get into trouble with anything like that. All right. It's not a case of just stopping you there. I have to cut you off. I know that from the radio thing. Sorry, Daniel. No disrespect to you. Just give us a call again on another night. All right. We can't talk about that. Sherry has written in here. I told John so many times to be patient and not to turn his PC off when updating, but he wouldn't listen. Now, that's the trouble, you see. You must not turn that computer off when it's doing an update. Even if sometimes you have to leave it on for the whole night. Seriously. Just leave it on in the whole night and hopefully in the morning, 10 hours later, it's working. Let's take another call. Hello, who's on the line, please?
Oh, yes, that's better, thanks. Look, let's see. Your bill was returned on 2 occasions for some reason. We do like to check with our customers just to see where the problem lies.
Yes.
In your case, are you aware of this issue, or did you actively decide not to pay the bills for some reason?
No, I decided not to pay the bills. I just don't want the service anymore.
Well, just to let you know that you have 10 calendar days to resolve this debt.
Right, okay.
You will, I'm afraid, have to cut off your electricity, okay?
Okay, well, just cut it off. I've got solar panels and a backup battery here, so I don't really need it.
Okay, but just bear in mind that you must pay for things if you want them to work, okay?
Well, I understand that. I'll tell you what, you sound really nice on the phone. Do you mind me saying that?
Oh, one thing I forgot, just in case there's a mistake. These bills are addressed to Mr. Constantine Gonzalez.
Yeah, well,
is this you or a family member of yours?
I'm not really bothered about that. You sound really nice on the phone. Do you fancy coming round for 10 minutes?
Oh. Well,
you sound. I'd love.
A friend of yours is playing a joke on you.
Come round. No, come round.
What do you say to that, eh?
Come round, baby. I love the sound of your voice.
Do you like it?
Please come round. You sound beautiful. What time are you coming round? Are you married? Hello? Hello? Are you married? Are you married? Hello?
Yours has Brian called you?
Please come round. I'm begging you. I'm loving this tonight. What a great night. I'm blooming well enjoying myself tonight. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, do not turn those laptops off, Sherry. I know how it is, John. I know how it is, John. It's very frustrating there watching that blasted screen 1% and then 10 minutes passes 2%. Hello to Alan Ross. Hello to you, Alan. Nice to hear you, sir. I was listening in again last night while I was in bed. Evening, sir. Sorry I keep missing your radio show in the morning. I'm sleeping a lot more these days. Must be getting old. Well, you're on till 3 o'clock, mate. You're on till 3 o'clock. I've actually managed to get my my smart speaker now to wake up to whoever's on at 7:30. This morning was Mark Hobbs this morning. Young Mark Hobbs. Yeah, he's back. And he was playing something from the new Cinderella musical, which is coming out soon. Yeah, that's 7:30 this morning, so I woke up to him this morning. Alan Ross, of course, he's with you at Reach On Air at midnight tonight, gang. Give him a little listen. Where is he gone there? Where's Alan Ross? There he is. He's on tonight. Okay. Between midnight and 3 a.m, Alan Ross is on there. He says, sorry I keep missing your radio shows. I'm sleeping a lot. Must be getting old. I always catch up on replay, though. I'm here and awake now. Getting ready for his next show. That's why. Aren't you? Hello to you, Alan. Thanks for the message there. That house, it's 64k. Gosh. You're a lucky man, John. You're a lucky man. Is it ex-council place? This is ex-council. Nothing wrong with an ex-council place. Funnily enough, I've got a little 2-bedroom place up in Lincolnshire, near my sister, a place called Tattershall. And that, I think that was 100 and... can't remember what that was, 120? That's going back some years, about 15 years or so. About 120. I don't think it's actually worth that at the moment. I think it's actually gone down. It's not done anything. It's not made any money at all in the 20 years that I've had it, that one. That's the only one, really. That's been a sort of... You can't win all the time, you know. You just take it. £64,000 for that with a view. Beautiful, John. Beautiful. Paul in Cornwall. Hello, Paul. DJ Sparky still uses CDs and he's got a mini disc. Mini discs. Wonderful little things. Wonderful. They were the sort of recording equivalent of a CD. But some people don't even know what a mini disc is, believe it or not. It was a fantastic format, mini discs. So if a CD is that big, a mini disc was a square thing. It was a little disc encased in a plastic thing. You used to push it in almost like a video cassette, really, but much smaller. Okay? The thing is with these, you could play them, you could record them, and you could edit them. You could edit the stuff on there. They were fantastic. But for some strange reason, they never took off in this country. And I never know why. Paul says Windows update is no good. I've got so many bad updates. I like Windows 7. Blimey, you are behind the times, Paul. Let's take another call. Oh, that's not working, is it? Hello? Hello? No. That sounds like a recording there. Let's just do just a moment now. There we go. Mike in Brighton, thank you. There's a way to disable automatic windows. Yeah, I know that. He doesn't have any on my tape. CDs were rare in those days. Well, they didn't exist, did they? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. When I started at the Black Cat, they did exist, and I had 3. I used to turn up with a CD case, and there were 3 CDs in it, and of course the machine. because that's when we had the old record decks in front of us at the Black Cap. Old Citronic double record decks. If you're a DJ, you'll know those. The unit that people used to carry around. Oh, they were so heavy, weren't they? Years ago, and Paul in Cornwall will be interested in this, years ago I built my, believe it or not, out of wood, I built my own double deck unit. And I bought two Citronic decks. They were Citronic. I built this thing out of wood. I had two little slots. For some reason, I could actually do things those days. They weren't perfect, but I could do them. And I built this case out of wood. I was 19, I think, 19, 20, something like that. Built this case out of wood and slotted the two things in there. I had a mixer on the front and a lid. Closed the lid. Wow, look at that. It was so heavy I couldn't lift it. This thing was so heavy I couldn't lift it. And what I had to do was literally take the decks out, carry around the case, and then put the decks in when I got to places, which came in two of my mum's suitcases. Well, you kind of defeated the object of having it. I stopped taking that back, and I just used to set up the decks on a table. It didn't look particularly good, my setup, I have to be honest with you. Literally, I'd say, have you got a table, please? And I'd put two decks on it, wire the mixers to it, and then start my DJing. One bloke came up to me. I was doing some sort of event at in Battersea, it was. Maybe a town hall, Battersea Town Hall, somewhere like that, in southwest London. And I set my stuff up on the tables and, can you believe it? One of the needles failed and I didn't have a spare one with me, and I had to ring up my dad and I said, can you get the needle out of your record player? And he came and brought me the needle down and it worked. And at the end of the night, this bloke says to me, he said, I've got to hand it to you. When we saw you setting up your stuff, we thought this is going to be a crap night, but you're really good. Thanks for a great night. Because it didn't look very good. To the phones then, Heidi's on the line. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, love.
Long time no hear, Heidi. How lovely to hear your little voice.
How are you doing?
Do you want to say hello to everyone? Because they won't have seen you for ages, darling.
Hi, everyone. I've just said hello to everyone. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Mandy Whiplash Davenport.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Nice to hear you, Heidi. Where you been, darling? You been busy?
No, I've been ill for the past 3 days. It's COVID shot.
Were your COVID injection?
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought I was going to die.
Well, that's the whole point, my darling, right? Because you've had it, you won't die. No one has died. That's the whole idea of it. The whole idea of it is that you don't die. You might have it a bit rough. I know that. But you now won't die.
A bit rough. Babe, let me tell you something, yeah? I had the injection in the day. By the time I went to bed, I was physically shivering for 3 hours non-stop.
Was you?
I could not stop shaking.
Yeah, that's your body fighting it, you see? That's the whole idea. That thing goes in you and it teaches your body to fight it. That's what your body's doing, fighting it. That's all the shivering.
I felt really sick.
Yeah.
It was awful. And then I went from that to feeling really hot. And then I went from that to feeling like I had the flu or a cold or something.
All right, yeah, yeah.
It was horrible.
And how are you now? You all right now, my love?
I'm better now.
What day was this?
This was on the 8th of November. No, 8th of September. Hello?
What was on the 8th of September?
8th of April. I'll get it
8th of April, okay. So Thursday last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
you poor thing. I feel sorry for you, darling. I'm sorry that you've had a bad time with it, but you've done the right thing, darling. You've absolutely done the right thing.
It was awful. And when I say awful, it was awful. I didn't think I was going to see the next week.
Oh, really? As bad as that? Yeah. Ronnie had it bad as well, my mate. Yeah, he was crying down the phone to me the next day. All I had was a bit of most people have had a little bit of tiredness. That was it. I think one of the DJs on Rants on Air had it bad as well. I don't know which one it was now. I'm sure one of them had it bad as well.
What, did Ronnie have COVID or did he have the injection?
No, he had the injection. It was after the injection the next day.
Oh, what, did he have the AstraZeneca one?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, same as me.
Yeah, I had that one. Oh, it felt horrible. Did you get any side effects?
Eh?
Did you get any side effects?
No, just a bit of tiredness the next day. That was it.
The next day?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The whole of the day.
Wow.
Just tired, bit of tiredness. Not as in can't do anything, just tired.
Oh, I couldn't do anything. Literally nothing.
Yeah, I know, you said. Terrible.
It was horrible. Anyway, enough of my sad, depressing 3 days. I'm back now.
I'm glad you're back.
How is everyone?
We haven't heard from you for about a year.
I know. It's been rough.
We're talking about computers at the moment, my darling. Have you ever had a bad Windows update?
Not to my knowledge. No.
Like you've done an update on the computer and something doesn't work anymore.
No, because I'm quite good with computers. So if something that I was known as the tech support in my house. So if anything ever went wrong with any computer or mobile phone, I was one that they always come to.
Lovely.
I was sort of like, I taught myself sort of basic computer work. So I knew the basics. You know, I could work my way out of a problem if there was a problem.
Good.
You know, or if I didn't know the problem, I'd just jump on YouTube and find the problem and then fix it myself.
Yeah, a lot of people use that. I mean, I was on there when I recently had a couple of problems, but we couldn't sort it out, and our friend Mike was on the phone to me as well, but we were unable to resolve the issue, and eventually I just took the computer into a shop who took one look at it and says, this is what needs to happen, and they fixed it for me, and that was that, you know. Found a little shop that do all my repairs now for computers. Don't have to worry about it anymore.
No. So I'm not behind the door when it comes to computers.
Yeah.
I mean, give me an Apple, and I might have a bit of a problem because I don't know the system. Well, Windows.
I don't have an Apple. My mate's got Apple. The people that have got Apples, they absolutely swear by them. They probably are a better system, I suppose, Apple. But you see, once you've bought into one system, it's very difficult to change over to another. You know, there would be an awful lot of work to do. I'm sure you could do it eventually, but everything is connected to one system, and to swap systems is just, you know, you kind of stick with what you started with, you know.
Well, you see, the really good thing about iPhone is if I got an Apple Mac, then it would be easier because I've got an iPhone.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I must admit, I find iTunes one of the worst pieces of software ever. iTunes. Oh. There's just so much on it that you have to know, and in actual fact, I don't even have it on my computer here. I've managed to get away with not having it on the new hard drive at the moment, and I really don't want it on there. I really don't. When I upgrade my phone, I mean, I've had this. This is an iPhone 8. I think this is 3 years old now. I've no intention of upgrading it at the moment because it's all working fine, and quite honestly, I'm a little bit short of money at the moment, so I wouldn't want to anyway. But the last time I changed over, I don't think I had plugged it into the computer at all. You kind of push a button and back up, and then you put the new one on, and you do restore from cloud. Does that sound about right? Restore from cloud, and then you leave it, and everything comes that was on the old one into the new one, and happy days, and we're done. And when it comes to music, you know, to put music on your iPhone, you have to plug it into iTunes, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. don't do that anymore. What I discovered after looking around on the internet, I've got Dropbox. Have you heard of Dropbox?
Yeah, I've heard of Dropbox, yeah.
Right, okay. So I've now got Dropbox on here, and what I do, if I want to put music on it, I upload it to Dropbox, okay, on my normal computer. Then I open Dropbox on here, and I just play it from that. Happy days. So much easier. And, you know, the old drag and drop the folders. How easy is that? Now, this iTunes, you plug this damn thing in. Oh, Christ, and the information that comes up, and it's just too much. It's all very well for these computer geeks, dare I say, the young people. You know, they can probably work all this, but not for old codgers like us, dear.
Excuse me, I'm not an old codger.
I think you are. How old are you?
I still know my way around a computer.
How old are you?
I'm 50 in a couple of weeks.
50 in a couple of weeks. And the rest, love. Come on, I'm 60 in 2 years.
I'm 50.
Please.
Oh.
Please. 50?
Darling, I was born in 1971.
If you say so. Anything you say, Heidi.
Really?
I'm going to go now. You look after yourself, Heidi. Thanks for calling in. Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Bye-bye, darling. There we are.
Bye.
Lovely Heidi calling in from London. Ages since we've heard from her, isn't it? Absolutely ages there. Where are we now? We were talking Mike's emails there. He says, sadly, I don't have any of your tapes. CDs were indeed wearing those. And we talked about the mini discs, and for some reason they never took off here. I don't know why. He says, why are you getting so many Muppets calling you tonight? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all a bit of a laugh. Just one thing, if you're going to call in, I never accept unknown numbers, all right? Just to warn you there. I never accept unknown numbers. You must send your number if you're going to call, all right? As for tapes or CDs, it was only last night I was rummaging around through loads of loose dust-covered DVDs and CDs. Yeah, I got loads of them as well. I found a gold mine of old mixes and rare remixes and immediately transferred them to my PC. I was delighted, he says. I found other things too, but we won't go there. Oh, you haven't got those mucky films hanging around in your house, have you, dear? God, most of the people in those are dead now, aren't they? Rachel Wheatland's laughing her head off. Sherry says, I think the house is meant for us. It also comes with a stair lift and fully furnished. Feeling very lucky indeed. Well, of course he'd know that, wouldn't he? Old John Parrish needs the old stair lift. Bless his heart. Does he go up and down that? That's probably his enjoyment during the daytime, is it? Going up and down that little stair lift. I tell you what I saw advertised the other day. Not so much an advert. It was a TikTok video. It's a stair step. A stair step. So it's not a chair, okay? It's a step, a metal step that's there, okay? You step on it, push a button, and you go up the stairs. You don't have to actually physically walk up the... I think things like this are brilliant, right? Because people like me, right, don't really want to leave their houses when they get older. My mate, David Rosen, he's a DJ. You'll know him, Heidi. David Rosen. I was saying to him, I don't think I'll ever be able to move out of this house. I honestly, quite apart from, the work I'd have to do to move out of it, in particular this room. This room in particular, you know. And he said, I know when you'll move, when you can't do the stairs anymore. Now, most of you know I've got a little bit of a dodgy knee, which is set off by cycling and kneeling down. Okay? So I can come out of church and I've got a problem. And once it's started, then it's a problem going up and down the stairs. Well, I could get one of those steps put in. I don't know how much that... Literally just a piece of metal sticking out like that at the bottom. You hop on it, push a button, and it takes you up the stairs. I love it. Love it. Sherry chose the house. The previous owner was a Catholic as well. Fantastic. It's the outlook. It's the scenery from your windows. That's what does it for me. For me, that's a number one priority. Outside. The problem is with buying a house with a field either behind it or in front of it, you never know if that's going to be sold and built on. And suddenly you've got a housing estate in front of you. That's the only problem. It could happen anywhere. It's certainly happened near Wokingham, near where I am here. Dreadful. 2 beautiful fields disappeared. Used to go down this road, field either side, right? They're all fenced off at the moment. Building works. Yes, we all need houses. But I mean, how many houses do you want? How many people? Too many people. There's too many people in this world. That's why, in my opinion, the Earth is trying different things now to get rid of a few of us. We're a little bit clever at the moment, but it won't always be that way. The Earth will do something to get rid of a load of us because there's too many of us here. Too many of us here. Destroying the planet. I don't know where we're going to end up. Rumble Bumble. My last update took all night and I have lots of trouble with AVG virus protection. Oh, really? I'm a cheapskate, but seriously thinking of some other programs as it just seems to strangle my laptop. These calls are crazy tonight. Oh, don't worry about the calls. It's all quite fun. I find it quite fun, really. You know, we don't like abusive calls. So I don't really get any of those, not anymore. It's so easy to cut someone off, you see. It's really easy to block someone. I mean, it is. I've got the 2 numbers here from the soundboards earlier. If I wanted to, I could block those numbers now so they can't ever call in again. It's very easy to do that. But they weren't offensive. They're just a little bit of fun, you know. When you're talking about your virus protection there, I think you find Windows has its own virus protection, doesn't it? This does. It's got virus update on it. I don't think you need AVG. Have a little look around. Have a little look around there, Rumble Bumble. Windows does have its own inbuilt virus protection. That's what I've got. I used to have, I think I had AVG actually at some point. I had McAfee for years, and then they started getting really silly with the pricing. I mean, really silly. At one point, they were charging almost £100 for a year. I don't think so, mate. Not when there's so many good free ones. And there are good free ones out there. But I don't think you need them. Actually, Mike will tell you. Is that right, Mike? Windows, it's got its own. I know it's got its own built. Hang on a minute. Let me look at that little thing in the corner of the screen. I'm sure there it is there, virus thing. Actions recommended. Oh, hang on a minute. Actions recommended. Let's see what it says. I haven't got my app and browser control there. Okay, that's all right. Yes, here we go. Windows Security, it's called. Virus and threat protection, account protection, firewall and network protection, device security. It's all there. It's all free, mate. Comes with Windows. Have a look around it. You don't need that AVG. Uninstall it and put the other one on. Or turn it on. It's probably already on there. Long as if you do your updates, this virus thing updates automatically. Don't need to buy anything anymore like that. Comes with the Windows, all right? Ollie. All right, Ollie. Talking of setups, I've got a photo of my home studio. Email it in, and then if you want, you can put it up on Wednesday. Won't be a show on Wednesday night, Ollie, okay? No show on Wednesday night because I've got to do things to my I won't be here Wednesday. I'm going up north. So I have a little studio in my a Lincolnshire television studio complex in the caravan, which I don't think you've seen yet, Ollie. You haven't seen it yet, have you? So I've got to set that back up first, okay? And I won't be getting up there till sort of very early Wednesday morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So I won't have time to set it up for Wednesday night. Besides, I want to see my family on Wednesday night, hopefully. Might get a free meal out of someone, hopefully. We do like a free meal. The children are desperate for their Christmas presents up there as well. Bless them. Oh, I can't wait to see them. Can't wait to see the children. But send it through, Ollie. Send it through, Ollie. And I'll put it up on the next show, which will probably be Friday night, okay? It's Friday night. Dun, 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 dun. It's Friday night. That one. All right, Ollie. Yeah, send it through. Good evening to Adrian. Hello, Adrian. He's recovering from an operation on his hand. He's had a bit of an operation. Hope that goes well there. George says, I love Chris Reading UK group. What's that then? What's that Chris Reading UK group? I don't know what that is. Evening to Ben Rolfe. Good evening, Ben. All well here. Thank you, Ben. Nice to see you, sir. John's found 6 floppy disks. Still sealed. Tony Bennett, Frank, All about £20 each. Floppy disks. What, for music on? Gosh, floppy disks. Here we are, Mike in Brighton. Windows Defender does it all. I thought so. Windows Defender. It's already on there, Rumble Bumble. Get rid of your AVG. But look into it first. Find it first and turn it on. I'm sure it's just a case of turning it on. Or, actually, I think you'll find when you uninstall AVG, it will tell you, Windows will tell you, you no longer have a virus thing on there. Do you want to use theirs? And then just turn it on. Turn them all on. All right. And let us know how you get on with that, Rumble Bumble. I like to know that someone's been able to help you. Okay. Mike says mini discs fantastic. I had the mobile and the hi-fi version, both Sony, and I love them. I've got a mini disc player upstairs, but no mini discs. Do you know what? I gave away all my mini discs. I had mixes on them. When I had a clear out of all the records and everything, I gave away boxes of my music on mini disc to someone. Believe it or not. He's been watching a channel called Techmoan, and they were discussing the mini disc and the chocolate playable record. Oh, isn't it funny? I watched that yesterday. Oh, was it you sent it to me? A chocolate playable record. Except it wasn't very playable. He put it on a normal record player and it didn't work, and he had to put it on. He had to turn this record player up and stand it on its side, and it played. Not very well, though. The problem and the two main reasons for failure was firstly the price of the players. The mini discs were, I think they were very big in Europe, but for some reason this country never took off with the mini discs. They were highly used in radio stations. FM radio stations at the time. There were no internet stations then. Disc capacity was less than a CD, about 74 minutes. So all the tracks were super compressed. If one note was louder than another, the system would ignore the lower note. Oh, I don't remember noticing that, to be honest. George says I'm on the Chris Reardon group. I don't know what that is. The Chris Reardon group. I've no idea what this is. Ben, do these text messages come through to your PC? That's a rather neat setup. Yes, and it took us ages to find someone to do it. It took weeks to find that, but yes, a company called Text Magic. Text Magic, all right? You have to be a business to be able to set up with them. Ollie has sent the email. Let's have a look. No, it's not there yet, Ollie. I'll expect that to arrive in about 3 weeks' time then, Ollie. Ollie, is it your emails that take ages to come through? I think it is. I don't know why, but Ollie's emails always take ages. If he's sending a photograph, then if for some reason it takes him ages to come through, doesn't it, eh? Never mind. Let's just... Oh, what's this? Oh, hang on a minute. Carrymore Men's Bodwin Weatherlight Hiking Boots. £29. That's not bad, is it? I've got some trainers here. £29. Men's... Oh, they look awful. £44 for trainers, dear. Oh, it's £12. Oh, they're for infants. Infants. Yeah. I might get a new pair of trainers, but I don't like to pay more. I don't like to pay more than £30 for a pair of trainers, I'm afraid. Okay. No email yet, Ollie. All right. Okay, let's move on, gang. A very good evening to you. If you're here for the first time, welcome along. It's just a little chat show we do 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday and Friday. If you're trying to talk to me in the chat box, I'm not in the chat box. You need please to either send us a text there, or you can send us an email, or you can call in on our phone-in number, which will come up in a moment, 020-8144-3477, 020-8144-3477. Bad news, gang, for gardeners. They're back. They're back. My lilies. You know where this is going, don't you? My lilies are coming up in their great big pots out there, and there's so many of them now. I only split them up 2 years. I think either last year. No, the year before I split them up because there were so many. I've got great big pots, huge pots like that out the front, full of earth and full of lilies. And 2 years ago, there were so many lilies in there, I split them up. Well, you wouldn't have thought I split them up. They're all back again. They're all back again. These pots are full of lilies and they're all coming up slowly. And guess what I spotted down there? Guess what I spotted in the earth? Lily beetles are back. Be warned. All they need is a bit of sunlight and these little buggers are back again, munching away at those leaves. You've got, as soon as you see a lily beetle, try and squash it with your thumb. Squash it with your thumb and get the spray out. Don't muck around, okay? Spray those plants well with the insect spray that you can get. Make sure it's got lily beetle on the bottle, because you need to stop those as soon as you see them, because you'll have no lilies, all right? They eat them all. Be very warned about that, okay? Watch out, lily beetles are back. Hello to Mark Jones. Have you got any lily beetles hanging around in you, Mark?
No, I haven't got no lily beetles, dear. Don't have any lilies.
Have you checked your hair? There might be a nest.
Yeah, I've had a haircut today.
Oh, have you? Me too, darling. Did you pay?
Yeah, I did £15.50.
15 quid? 15 and a half quid for a bleed haircut for a man?
Yes.
I used the term very loosely. How much?
Very nice, is it, dear?
How much is it normally then?
It was £15 before it took 50p.
Oh, well, they're trying to make a bit of money back, I suppose, aren't they?
Probably.
Well, what have you been doing for haircuts then?
Well, I've had one haircut. My best friend, who I live with, did it in between. And it was just growing and I looked like a homeless person until today.
Oh, you are awful, dear. Why, have you not had anything to eat either, love?
No, Doc. I went to the food bank, but they won't give me none.
Oh, love. No haircut or food. I don't know which is worse.
I know, it's crazy.
Well,
I had my eyebrows done this morning.
What do you mean you've had your eyebrows done?
I have them waxed to make them on point, dear.
Eh?
They're on point.
What,
now.
a bloke having his eyebrows waxed?
When I got there was an old man just a bit younger than you having his done.
What do you mean, an old man just a bit younger than you?
Only joking.
Sorry?
Only joking.
Rude.
He must have been about 56 or something like that.
Oh, well, younger than me then, dear. Blah, blah.
So, yeah, he was having his done. It's quite popular now, you know.
I don't think I need that. I mean, I like my eyebrows. I tell you who's got really bushy eyebrows. My older nephew, Gary. Oh, my God, they're like bushes above his eyes.
He could do with some eyebrow waxing then.
No, that's for ladies to do. It's not for men, love.
It isn't, dear. We can't be sexist, can we?
The only way I'd have my eyebrows. The only way I'd have my eyebrows done if Mark Bowles told me to have them done. I might consider having them done then.
We might be interested if you have them done, you know.
Do you think so? Is that all it's going to take? Just my eyebrows to be done? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what you need to ask him. So I bet Tina has hers done.
Do you reckon? Oh, I'm sure Tina does hers. Yeah, I think she does it at the same time as the bikini line.
Oh, dear. So I've been to my second jab today.
Okay. Is that all right, was it?
Yeah, perfectly fine. No pain. Well, there's a little bit of pain when they just jab it in you.
Yeah.
But that's it. No, I've got no symptoms. I don't feel poorly.
Good.
My arm's not dropped off and I've not grown a new nose.
Good. Fantastic news.
Which is good.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear from my second one at the moment. Yeah, I've not heard anything about that yet. Funny,
well,
isn't it, really?
You're there soon. Surely you're in that bracket now.
What do you mean, what bracket?
The age bracket, dear.
Well, that's twice you've mentioned my age now. How rude. Are you a 1970s comedian? Look up Bernard Manning. He does some good jokes. I've been passing a few Bernard Manning jokes around. Some people are absolutely horrified by the jokes. I just sit here and laugh, which makes me happier than them.
Well, that's even better. I sent my granddad a Roy Chubby Brown one earlier.
Oh, yeah, Roy Chubby Brown.
And I didn't realise how much of a snowflake my granddad had become as he's getting older.
Oh, well, didn't he laugh?
No, he said that's not even funny.
Oh, what's wrong with these people, dear?
He's lost his sense of humour.
Believe me, there's a lot of people like that. There are people that I'm not going to... There's one in particular, and I'm not going to mention them, not on the show tonight. But there's one in particular who just doesn't get comedy at all. doesn't get the comedy at all, ever, when I try and do a joke. And that's all I'm saying. No names mentioned.
You're just wasted. That's all it is. You're wasted on.
Well, we're not wasted here. We're all of the same mind on this programme. Everyone watching here is of the same mind, as in mad.
That's true. Well, that's why we keep coming back.
How's your radio show going, Mark? Is it all right?
It's all right. I had a good show earlier. I had a bit of technical problems with the Myriad. It just wasn't playing ball, but it soon did eventually.
Right. Let me tell you,
But it was all right.
I don't use anything like that. Basically, in front of me, I have 10 CD players.
Yeah.
And I have a jingle player with buttons on it. And I literally play the record when I want it to start. I don't have to stick to any times or any timings or, you've got 10 seconds to talk here. Don't do any of that. I don't do any of that programmed setup. I'm very old school and I don't really want to do any sort of programmed setup. I've been up the BBC Lincolnshire and I've seen it all there on the screen. There's a little red bit there. Okay, weather, news, and all these timings next to it. And I think, why do you need to do all that? Just talk and then play the bloody record. Yeah. As long as you finish and start on time. Go on.
What I do, dear, is I change. So when the playlist is generated, I change it all. But then it adds me, because we have some sponsor adverts in.
Yes.
It adds them at the right time for me.
Right. I'm with you.
Because what I'm not very good at is the timings.
Right.
It's not what I'm very good at, and obviously I'm concentrating on other things as well.
The machine does all that for you, does it? But then it seems an incredibly complicated thing, all these programs and what have you. So I just use it.
Yeah, but this one's it's very simple. Once it's set up and ready,
I've heard that before.
Very simple.
Please, I've heard that before, Mark. Oh, it's easy. All you have to do is.
26.
Huh?
I'm only 26.
Right.
So for me, that would be probably easier. But for you, being a younger old person, that'd be a bit more difficult.
Oh, did you say you were 26, dear?
Yes, dear.
Isn't that funny? You look so much older in your photographs.
I do. That's because I had a hard tape around here.
Oh, never mind,
it was all
darling.
uphill. So, yeah, it was my birthday on Thursday, just gone.
Was it? Oh, well, happy birthday for Thursday. 26 years on Thursday. Did you manage to do anything or what?
No, we literally stayed in. It was like the worst birthday ever. But I'm sure I'll make up for it.
Oh, did you get a cake?
I did. I got 2 cakes. I got a Marks and Spencer's one.
Yeah.
Which was very chocolatey, and then a Tesco's one.
Lovely. Nothing wrong with a birthday cake, dear. I always say if you didn't get a birthday cake, buy one. I've done that before. Actually, my friend Maureen done it as well. I think she bought herself a birthday cake. Nothing wrong with buying yourself a birthday cake, mate, if you don't get one. Absolutely.
No. Right, anyway, I'm going to go. I don't want to bore you any longer.
Thanks, Mark. You have a good day, darling. Good evening. And happy birthday for Thursday, all right? There we are, Mark calling in. Where are we now? Let's just do some of the texts. Adam the plumber, hello to Adam. Likes the haircut. Did you use the spirit level behind you to do it? Yeah, the same one I used to make the hole in that thing. The hole in that cabinet, mate. Ollie K says, we are just more intelligent than the people who are not amused. We are. I think you're absolutely right, Ollie. I really think that. These people that are offended, there's a group of people who are offended by everything and a group of people who are amused by most things. But the people who are offended don't seem to be able to work out in their tiny little brains what is going to be comedy, like irony or satire. You may not know what that is. That's when you say something, but you don't actually mean it, right? So I could say to you tonight, Ollie, I hope your legs drop off, okay? But I don't mean that. But someone with limited intelligence who is offended by everything won't be able to work that out in their tiny, pathetic, silly little minds. They're the same people that they pull up on all the news channels on the telly. You know, and Boris said this, or someone said this, or someone said that. He didn't mean anything by it. Boris called gay people bum boys once. Now, you see, I see the funny side of that. I do. I think that's hilarious. Not the lefties. Oh, that's really offensive towards gay people. No, it's not. He was having a joke. But in their tiny little minds, they can't work out. They cannot separate in their heads what's a joke and what isn't a joke. And I feel sorry for the people who are not amused by anything. What do they do to make themselves laugh? That's what I want to know. One of the things they do is watch Keith Lemon. Oh, God. Or Gemma Collins. They are amused by people like Gemma Collins and Keith Lemon. Now, am I not intelligent that I don't get their humour? Maybe so. But you're quite right, Ollie. We are more intelligent, darling. All right, my love. Vera. Hello, Vera. Hello, Vera. Come on, where's the whip? Oh, she wants the whip tonight. Here you go, darling. Vera wants a bit of a whipping tonight because she's late. It's Ollie that brought in that rule. If you're late now, you have to be whipped as you come into the show, all right? How's Gary the cat? He's all right, actually. He's all right. You've done a little tidy up in your studio. What's the house thing behind you? Ah, well, that is China. China! Now, you see, that wasn't offensive, was it? It's just a little speech. Oh, that's really offensive. Oh, please get for real, will you? Here we go. China, well, I don't know what it is made out of. It's a ceramic tea caddy, and it had 40 gold tea bags in it at one point. Huh? No tea bags now. And that fab. Ceramic. Look, you can see it now. Isn't that beautiful? I just found this over there. I don't even know where it's come from. It was just over there, and I thought, oh, let's change that around now because we're not doing the prizes anymore or anything like that, all right? Ollie, they are probably the people who support Piers Morgan and Donald Trump. I don't know who they are, mate. John says it was an ex-council house, mid-terrace of 6 houses around the 1970s. Yeah, beautiful little place. It's the view you've got, though. That's what does it for me. If I ever bought another house, it would be the view. Can I just ask you to do some little thumbs up likes for me, please, boys and girls, if you're enjoying the show tonight, and that helps the YouTube algorithms, all that. Oh, and I wanted to thank some people who sent me tips last night via PayPal. Gary, thank you very much to Gary Ross last night, and Rachel. By the way, all your stickers, they were actually I posted everything last night, believe it or not. After I finished the show last night, I was in quite a good mood, and I wasn't tired at all, so I packaged up the prizes and sent them all off. I expect you'll get them tomorrow because they went off this morning, as in 8 a.m. That's the first post from the post office post box. So Rachel, your stuff's coming to you in the post there. Thanks very much to Rachel and Gary Ross, and also Colin Kay, who kindly sent a tip last night over on the PayPal. Don't forget, I never ask for money, but some of you say, put your PayPal up, so there it is. We'll leave that up for a little while there. And if you want to, that's fine. If not, that's fine as well. All right? Good. Let's move on a little bit here. What's the time? Blimey, it's 70. Christ, is it 9:45 already, is it? Which shall we do next? Oh, I know. Now, as you know, I do like to do the whole litter thing. Let me just read that text out a moment. Adrian lives by a marina. I've never been bored of the view yet. Maybe the people, but not the view. Oh, how lovely. So you see water out your place, do you? How lovely. Funnily enough, 5 years ago, I was really bored with loads of people. No one in particular, just so many people at work and going into town and with the traffic. And I was so fed up with it all. And I actually looked at a place in Scotland. It was right at the top. It was up this hill. It was a place on its own. And the view from it was the North Sea. Is it the North Sea up the top there? Whatever that is. Waves crashing. And it was like a 2 or 3 bedroom house this was, and it was 100 grand. This place was 100 grand, and it was on its own. And I thought, in the winter, and winters in Scotland are proper winters. and you'd be cut off. You'd be cut off for a period of time, and no one would be able to get to you, and you wouldn't be able to get to anyone. That's just how it is. But, you know, the view of the sea must be amazing. And I also thought, my God, that must be windy up there. You'd have your own windmill, of course, and then you'd have your own electricity being made all the time with a sort of battery backup type thing, wouldn't you, then? Anyway, where were we going now? There he is. You know I go around collecting rubbish. Wait till you see this. It's in the Daily Mail today. The son of a homeowner in suburban Essex has infuriated neighbours after allegedly advertising a cottage garden as an illegal tip. 6 foot of rubbish has been piled up in the front garden of this property in Upminster, and the rubbish has been set on fire on several occasions. Now, around here and over the forest, and I do quite a large area now, it's a case of keeping on top of it. Once you've done those big cleans, picked up so many bags of stuff, keeping on top of it is fairly easy if you keep on top of it. I'm kind of working out in my head at the moment various routes that I do, and once a week or twice a week I will walk those routes, and there won't be much there because you keep doing it, keeping on top of it all the time, right? Wait till you see this picture. The tip, which includes mattresses, pallets, furniture and bags filled with rubbish, has been dumped on the doorstep of the semi-detached house. Ready? Now, can you just imagine living next to that? What has amazed me is that these people get away with it. It's unbelievable. According to The Sun, residents have contacted local authorities, including the police and the local council, to try to get the waste removed, but it's still there. The Sun claims the rubbish built up after a family member had died and assured it would be cleared away. To make matters worse, wind, and this terrible wind, terrible, because you see a plastic bag on one side of the park and it's over the other side in seconds. The wind often blows bits of loose rubbish across their gardens and into the street. I mean, it must stink, mustn't it? Those dirty old wee-stained mattresses. The problem, residents say, has been going on for 8 weeks. So it's just 8 weeks, is it? While the homeowner allegedly torches the tip, so sets fire to it on a regular basis, causing flames as high as the house and hot enough to damage the building. I mean, how is he getting away with that? One of his neighbours has been living there for more than 40 years, said him and his father were doing it in a small way, picking up other people's rubbish, which was a pain in the butt. The father died and has no driving licence. The dad used to drive, so the thing he does is get his mates who do rubbish removal to drop the rubbish off, and it's got out of hand. Well, I can see that. Wow. God. That's shocking, isn't it? And I thought I had a little bit of a problem there. One of my friends who's in Brighton, actually, Dawn. I don't know if you know her, Mike. Dawn Thorpe. Lovely, very good friend of mine. She's hard left, but that's okay because she's my friend, you know. And she sent a picture on Facebook today about a couple of the bins in Brighton. Rubbish all around them. Bin empty. Rubbish around the bin. They can't even bring themselves to go as far as the bin. And when I say the rubbish, so the rubbish is there, the bin's here. Don't get it. Andy says, if you need one of those metal detectors to take with you, you might dig up some old Roman relics. Well, we've got them running the Catholic Church at the moment. I'm feeling particularly naughty today. Some of the X Factor people aren't happy, are they? This was last week's story. 2 former X Factor contestants, 2 more, as well as the two Irish boys, Jedward. They're not happy. They're not happy. Former X Factor contestants Jedward and Sher Lloyd have been speaking out about their experience on the ITV reality show, while Rebecca Ferguson has called for a parliamentary inquiry into the music industry generally, with more contestants set to join the campaign. Now, I've got a couple of thoughts on this. It says 2 more former X Factor contestants are reported to be willing to speak out about abuse during their time on ITV talent show. It comes after pop duo Jedward launched a Twitter chat about their negative experience on the reality series and how they regret not telling the judges to F off. Sher Lloyd then spoke out to accuse the show of selling her dream in a TikTok video that has since gone viral. Following a week of allegations, 2010 contestant Rebecca Ferguson has demanded a parliamentary inquiry into the music industry in general, calling for tighter regulations to protect artists from being bullied by managers and agents. Now, here's the problem here. Here's the problem. You want to be a star. Okay? Unfortunately, as things work, that lady or man can make you a star. To become a star, you have to do what they tell you to do. Now, the sad thing is, it's a bit the same. It's the same on the radio and the television, right? I think anyone really could become a television person or a radio person. But to get where you want to go, you've got to do what someone else is telling you to do. Now, I've always had a bit of a problem with that. Can you tell? Fortunately, the internet's come along and allows people like me and some of you to literally be a little television star in your own head. We know the reality of it. You know, let's not be silly about this. We know the reality. Okay? This is where I belong, on a little YouTube thing with a couple of dozen people joining in. I know that. Okay? As a joke, I blow it out of all proportion, as you well know. Hello to the millions of people all over the world joining us today. But you know, and I know, that's not true. Okay? But if I wanted to get on telly, you've got to look a certain way, you've got to do things, and you've got to do what that lady or man says to you to do. The choice is, do you want to do that? Now, see, these people that are in charge, you have to remember, no one has dragged you kicking and screaming to be in front of those people. You've got to decide, okay, I'll do what I'm told to do. Surely you must know that. According to The Sun, 2 more stars from the series are ready to share their experience after finding the confidence to speak out. Momentum is gathering, says The Insider. There's been long rumours swirling things involving non-disclosure agreements. So you would sign a piece of paper, right? And that piece of paper would say, you will not talk about anything that we tell you. If you break that, they come and get you. Fine. I mean, they don't send Evvies round. I'm sure they don't. Well, maybe they do, I don't know. Non-disclosure agreements and legal threats. Excuse me. But suddenly a few well-known faces are speaking out at once. It's given the other confidence to think about telling their stories too, and the momentum is gathering. Some of those who feel they were exploited and allege they were abused and extremely well known, but always feared speaking out could end their careers. That does now seem to be changing. Now, I'm not a fan of X Factor. You've watched it. I've watched it. I've watched Britain Got Talent. I've looked at the programmes and seen some people who are absolutely dreadful. They can't sing a note. They should, in the olden days of opportunity knocks and things like that, they would never have got on the telly. But some scout has gone around to karaoke nights and talent nights, looked for people who can't sing, so that they can bring them onto the show and ridicule them. The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent is the modern equivalent, I'm afraid to say, of a freak show. By that, I don't mean the way someone looks. They are looking for people to take the piss out of, basically. Of course, there will be people on there who can sing, and that's why I don't like it. Because that person out there who they found at a karaoke night who can't sing a note thinks they are a good singer. And their highlight of the week is to go to a karaoke night or two and for 3 minutes stand on the stage and sing their hearts out. I love that job. If you ever come to my karaoke nights, not once will you ever see me take the piss out of someone singing. I don't care if you can't sing. I'm here so you can have your 3 minutes of fame on there. But these people are karaoke singers. They are amateur singers and they shouldn't get on the telly. They certainly shouldn't get on the telly to have their dream destroyed by people like Simon Cowell, Cheryl Cole, and that who's the one from the Pussycat Dolls, whatever, Nicholas Shirt, whatever her name is, and people like that. I hate it. Because in that moment, when they're standing up there and they're singing their hearts out, every single note, the wrong note, the timing's all wrong, they can't sing. But they think they've sung well. And to have their dream destroyed in the few moments afterwards, let's go to the judges. I think is just the most dreadful thing ever. And one day we'll come along to talk about this sort of thing, right? And they start throwing the mental cruelty thing in, because that's what it is. It's mental cruelty. Now, don't get me wrong. These people already know what's going to happen to them. They know they're going to be judged and comments made. I think it's horrendous, the X Factor. Yes, it is popular. Yes, it is. Yes, I know it is. That doesn't mean it's good. Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good. Hey, let me take you to McDonald's. Let me take you to McDonald's. Let me take you to McDonald's for every single meal. Do you think that's good for you? It's popular. Is it good for you? All the time? No. I just think it's horrendous. And I'm not surprised at this. But if you want to get somewhere, you've got to be told what to do, or you just go and do your own thing. And it's less likely you'll get somewhere. I mean, just look at the telly now. What a load of crap. And it's all the same people all the time. All the same people that do as they're told. Which brings me on nicely to something I saw on Saturday night. A new programme. BBC One. I Can See Your Voice. Well, it's just like karaoke gone wrong. The format's okay. It's not too bad, actually. Basically, they've got, I think, 6 people who stand on a stage like statues. It was the weirdest thing seeing these people stand there. 6 people who stand on the stage. Some of them can sing and some can't sing. And there's 2 contestants who stand in one corner. And then there's 4 or 5 so-called experts. Almost judges, but not quite. And they give their thoughts to the 2 contestants. Sounds all right, doesn't it? Except it's the same people again that we keep seeing. All right. The biggest surprise I saw, Holly Willoughby or Philip Schofield or Ben Shepherd weren't on there. God, couldn't believe it. Really? A programme with not one of those on there? But they did have others that we keep seeing time and time again. Paddy McGuinness, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And the thing is, these people that we keep singing are now on both of the channels. Whereas you used to have the BBC stars and the ITV stars. And sometimes the BBC stars would jump ship and go on to ITV. It didn't usually happen the other way, though. And once they'd done that, it usually ruined them, I'm afraid. Even big people like Morecambe and Wise did it. And Bruce Forsyth. We talked about that the other day. I mean, eventually he found his show, but the one he left the BBC was a disaster. Bruce's Big Night. Absolute disaster. He left the Generation Game to do that. Like 20 million viewers, 17 million viewers. We went to London Weekend. They gave him a 3-hour show and it killed him. But whatever. But over on the BBC, these experts, Paddy McGuinness was hosting the show. I'm not a fan. However, he's not too bad. And then who's the people giving her advice? Alison Hammond. Suddenly, she's all over the place. Have you noticed that? She's all right. She's bubbly. She's all right. But we're doing the old overexposure thing. All these people are fine. All these people are fine. We had Jimmy Carr. I quite like Jimmy Carr. In fact, he injected quite a lot of humour in to the programme. This new programme on BBC One, I can see your voice. So there's him. And Amanda Holden again. I mean, it's just the same people coming round time and time again. And they had the boy from McFly, Danny Jones, who sang at the end. It's very good. And they look at these people and they have to decide who can sing and who can't. And they eliminate them, you see. So the idea is they're left with a really good singer. So some of them are miming, okay? So that whether they're either miming or singing, and the contestants have to decide whether they are miming or singing, right? And they eliminate one of those. And then other ones, they tell them about their profile when they change their voice. And they say, OK, we'll eliminate that one. And when they eliminate someone, they then open up the stage. They walk through the stage. And then they sing. And then they actually find out whether or not they can sing. And there were some awful singers on it. There was one particular bloke, and he was very good, actually. He had a pink suit on. He said he was a nightclub promoter. And I have to say, he looked a whole barrel of laughs. Someone I'd like to meet up with. I think we'd make each other laugh. Hilarious. And then there was one bloke, and he just looked a bit weird. Looked like a mad scientist. Had glasses on and a bald head. They eliminated him, and then he came and sang. What a voice. He had the most fantastic voice. And it turns out he's been in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and oh, God. The one with the horror show, Rocky Horror Show he's been in. He had a great voice and they eliminated him. But they ended up and they won, I think it was £10,000. £10,000 of your tax, your licence payers' money. £10,000. So, format, yeah, I could get used to that. I'll carry on watching that. But the same people, Paddy McGuinness, Alison Hammond, Jimmy Carr, Amanda Holden. Can we please have some different people on the telly? It kind of works with Michael McIntyre and that thing because they change them all, don't they? I think these are the ones for the whole series. And the other thing I don't like, we had the old close-up of the judges, you know, where they make stupid faces. Like someone's singing and they're going like that. And I'll tell you how they do that. Do you think they do that while the show's happening? No, they don't. They might do a couple of them, but when the show's finished, okay, what happens then is that, okay, we've got to do some funny faces now. And literally the producer will be shouting at them, okay, can you hold your head and your ears like that? And they will film that, right? Okay, can you do something with your mouth like that? And they will film that. And then when the editor comes along afterwards, they put those bits in. That's what happens. Same as X Factor, blooming, and it's so fake. Fake. Paddy McGuinness is very good. But I'm seeing him too much on the telly. Bit blokey for me. A little bit too blokey for me, you know. So we'll see how that goes. But going back to the X Factor, yeah, there's some of the people who are not happy there. This lady was so, excuse me a moment. Sir Lloyd, finished the fourth on the 4th of the 2010 series, claimed that she was sold a dream when she started on the show at 17. You remember Swagger Jagger, wasn't it? Swagger Jagger, which was a song I used to DJ with. And it was very popular. People used to ask for it all the time. Cher Lloyd, who finished 4th on the 2010 series, claimed she was sold a dream. How could I be so naive? They just sold me the dream to exploit me. It's difficult, really. You see, Simon Cowell can make you a star, but you'd have to do what you tell him to do, what he tells you to do. Do you see what I mean? So I do see that side of it as well. I don't know what the money side of things is like, you know. If you sing for me and you make £10,000, how much does Cher get of that? I don't know. Really don't know. Apparently, she sang in a TikTok video, said, "Darling, you'll go far if you shake that arse and date a star. And if the record's taken off, we'll take the money." That's how she feels about it all. It's not the first time Cher has hit out at the talent show. Last year, she claimed she'd be thrown to the wolves after being sent death threats and racist abuse from viewers. Twins John and Jedward have also been vocal on Twitter this week about their time on the show. It says every contestant on the X Factor was a slave to the show and got paid zero while they made millions, says Jedward. The fact that every contestant has to act like their judge mentors them, when in reality all they care about is the paycheck. Former contestant Rebecca Ferguson also used her social media as a platform as she campaigned for a parliamentary inquiry into the music industry generally. Rebecca said artists need protection from an archaic system that even compromised their health. At one point in my career, I collapsed 3 times in a day. I was unconscious, my head hit the floor, no ambulance was called. This is one of the many stories. This is the reality of artist mistreatment. This is why I fight, she told her followers. So there's a lot of unhappy people. That story is in the Daily Mirror if you want to look it up and read the whole thing there. It says the X Factor could be hit with the title up there, the X Factor could be hit with more abuse claims after Jedward and Cher Lloyd speak out. And that was in the Daily Mirror on the 8th. So last week I've been holding that for you. And I'm sorry sometimes I do bring up an old story. And the only reason, and thanks very much for your likes today, gang. I see you put some likes on there. Thank you for those. And the only reason I bring up an old story is because they were in shows before and we didn't get to them. Like today, it's now coming up to it's gone 10:05, so we're going to finish up fairly soon now, gang. But even today, you know, we've got a whole list of viewers' stories there that we haven't got to. Just how it goes, you know. I'd rather have more there than not enough. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll read your final text and then we'll disappear, gang. Mike in Brighton says, I love your shows. You say as it's no ball. I just say how it is. You got me through my lockdown. Thank you. You should be locked up, dear. I don't think you've been locked up enough. Is that what you like, being locked up? Is Marc Bowles still with us? I'm hoping to be locked up, Mark. Perhaps a pair of handcuffs or something, dear. He says you're the best free entertainment on here, better than the BBC and ITV, says Mike. Oh, I don't know. Well, the trouble is I'll never get on there because I just don't do what I'm told. Can you remove the rubbish at the side of your house? Don't. I did earlier when Ronnie threw a couple of cans down. Evil git. Vera says, I totally agree with you. I never watch X Factor or those type of programmes. I can't stand them. It's just awful, isn't it? But it's so fake. When you see these faces, they're so fake. I'll tell you what, there has been a couple of people judging on X Factor who I actually rate. Robbie Williams and that little boy from No Direction, him. I thought they were pretty genuine. But the whole fakeness thing, no, I can't bear it. Can't bear it. Just the rowing. It's not about the contestants, it's about the judges. It's about the judges. Whereas again, going back to the days I think of Opportunity Knocks, the one with Bob Monkhouse, and before that with Huey Green years ago. And there was a talent show on BBC Two for a while, about 10 years ago. 10 years, about 10, 12 years ago. Can't remember what that was called. It was on every night on BBC Two. It was a bloke who's like Bradley Walsh, but it wasn't Bradley Walsh. I can't remember his name now. Someone might remember his name. BBC Two talent show. And that was really about the people on the stage. Whereas the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, none of these programmes are about the contestants anymore. Andy says the shows on ITV are all the same, Chris. No better celebrities guessing what the public talent was Saturday. An awful TV for this week. Hey. Adam says, Chris, many years ago I was picked up by a talent scout when I was at the Two Brewers. I have to be up every day at 6 a.m. to go for a 2-hour swim to build my lung power. I had to give up smoking, not a bad thing. But the minute I mucked up, I was dropped. I spent the hours in the studio going over the same lines. You need to be 100% focused. And then years later, with the gay men's chorus, I was in. Thing like standing around for 5 hours in the freezing cold on Brighton seafront in the winter just to do a couple of photographs. Not easy for the music industry. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it is. When you see these young people on in music and all that, they're not necessarily having a good time, you know. When you get to the sort of stage of, I suppose, Michael Jackson and people like that. But, you know, where are the Michael Jacksons of today? Where are they? I think if you can keep going and get to that sort of point, Michael Jackson, Robbie Williams, Shirley Bassey, it's that once you can get to a point, I think, where you call the shots. But to actually get to that is very, very difficult. Really difficult. Mandy Davenport mentions the Rocky Hocker show. That's the one. That's the one there. Okay. Thank you, Ollie. I've got your picture. Let's have a quick look, Ollie. Ollie's studio. Oh, he's got proper decks. He's got CD. Is that his CD decks? Nice little setup you got there, Ollie. Where's your microphone there? Have you got a microphone? That's a nice setup there, Ollie. Lovely. Do you use the same setup with your dad? Do you share it? John Parrish has just arranged BT Internet, 25 quid. That's fair enough. We will move into the house. Still in the caravan at the moment. Stairlift needs turning up. Far too slow. John Parrish's house. Marc's just sent him. Do you know, I'm silly sod I am. I can show you these pictures, can't I? Oh, Gary Ross has just sent us a £10 tip. Thank you, Gary. Let's just have a little super chat sound, shall we? Thank you, Gary. Sent in a £10 super chat today. Thank you, Gary. Well, he sent a PayPal. Oh, sent a PayPal there. I thought I still had that up for a moment there. Good. Let's just... I completely forgot that I can, of course, take photographs and show them to you with this, can't I? If next time we do a show, remind me of that, because sometimes I forget to do things. Where are we now? Let's take a picture. There we go. There's Marc. Where's he today? 26. There you go. There's Marc, 26. Poor old soul. Look at him, dear. Aging before our very eyes, aren't you, my love? Terrible. Do you want to see Ollie's setup as well? His little radio setup. Let's show you Ollie's setup. I'll put them on the screen again for next time as well. Nice setup he's got there. Very compact. Because radio, you don't need much. Seriously, you don't really need much radio. Video, you need a lot more to do. There you go. There's Ollie's radio setup. I would assume that he shares that with his father. Okay, thank you, Ollie. And do you want to see John Parrish's house as well while we're here? Hang on a minute. Because that's... You wait till you see the view from John Parrish's house. One minute. You can't actually see his house. Just the view from the window. Okay? Do you know, this view looks identical to the view. There was a house for sale, actually, near the caravan site, which I looked at, was only 130 grand. There you go, look. Look at that view he's got from his window. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful. And it's even, if you look carefully, there's even a bus stop there, so John can use his pensioner's pass to get around. Is that right, John? Hello to James McAllister. Hello, James. Hello to Loves the Jacket. Thank you, James. Clarissa bought me this. She's often with us. I don't think she's with us today. She hasn't sent in a text, but the lovely Clarissa bought me that. I'm glad you like it. I like it very much. She bought me two very similar ones to this. All right. Okay, gang, we're finishing it now. Just a reminder, gang, there's no show this week on Wednesday nights. Okay, because I'll still be... hang on a minute. Hello to Ross Patzelt. Hello, Ross. There was a band from Norwich called Chord in the early noughties who got picked up and signed to Island Records and was wined and dined by the record companies. Free party, photo shoots, nice limousines, and recorded the album, got off the radio, the usual. And the first two singles did okay, then the third flopped and they were dropped instantly by the label and back to normal life, and realised how fickle the music business is. You have to work hard to be popular. Well, you do. You can do what other people tell you to do, be popular and get somewhere, or you can do what you want to do, upset a few people and just get stuck on YouTube. You see, to me, it's about being happy. You've got to be happy doing what you do. And as you know, there's no fakeness here. You know when I'm happy and when I'm pissed off. You do. Because I just tell you. And that's why I'm on YouTube. Oh, stop it. All right, I'm going to call it a day here. As I say, no chat show for you on Wednesday this week. I hope to be with you on Friday, all things being well. And it's the same with the radio. There won't be any radio on Wednesday. I'm hoping to be able to get going by Thursday morning with the radio. Got to do a few testing things and see that everything works up there. Okay. Well, as we had the snow this morning, I thought we'd finish with our little snow closing thing. All right, my darlings. Thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to Gary for the tip this evening. Very kind of you, Gary. Thanks very much for your tip there, Gary. If anyone else sent one in, I'll be able to see in a moment when we've finished. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your night. Here is where I'll be tomorrow on reachonair.com at 9 o'clock. I can't find it now. There it is. reachonair.com, 9 o'clock. If you're not doing anything tonight, my very good friend Alan Ross will be on there tonight at midnight. There you go. And he's on for 3 hours at the best time of the day, as the bloke on Radio 2 used to say. The best time of the day is between midnight and 6 o'clock. And Alan Ross is on there tonight from midnight until 3. Do you know what I'm going to have now? Do you know what I'm going to have? I'm going to have a lovely sausage roll. Shall I have the beans? No, that's greedy having the beans. I'll just have the sausage roll. Thanks, gang. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.